there's like versions on YouTube that it's like Paul McCartney AI McDeclan. There is an AI Paul version. It's not even that version. It's my version that's got nothing to do with Paul McCartney. It's just my version of the ABBA tune. And it's like, it says AI Paul McCartney McDeclan. It's got like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sophie Williams and I'm joined by Declan McKenna for the latest in Enemies in Conversation series. Declan, how are we?
I'm alright, how are we?
We're good, we're doing well. So, what happened to the beach? Album coming soon. How are we feeling
So I thought that was a question to begin with. Yeah, feeling good. It's all going well. Just excited to get the tunes out really, because it's been, a while.
What mindset did you go in at the start of this album? Obviously, like you said, you had a 4-year gap in between records. There was a bit of time with everything that went on with lockdown in between.
Yeah. I think the sort of spirit that went into this album was that I was sort of working so much through the sort of the heart of the pandemic, that music, actually making music, sort of became a bit like it was when I was a teenager again, really. It was just kind of me doing all this stuff for fun and, for a bit of an escape from all of the sort of heady, sort of more promo-y kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I really felt there was something good about what I was doing, and maybe just with a little bit more experience was able to kind of start executing a couple more intimate, verging on lo-fi ideas with a bit more intention and just a bit better than maybe I would have. So I felt quite confident that even though these ideas had sort of, come out of just kind of messing around at home for fun, that it could become something. So yeah, that was kind of the ethos that I went into it with, was that this album would almost be giving something a bit different and able to sort of be formed of the stuff that is that maybe I wouldn't have had the confidence to sort of really go for previously. And having more of my own sort of like production ideas and stuff like that on the record, I think.
Definitely. And I guess we talk about wanting to be more grounded, just take things at a slower pace and let these ideas come to you. What else did you have to change in sort of your day-to-day life or routine to get you into that mind space to make the record?
I don't think I did very much at all, really. Like, it was at least the start was very natural, and I think just gradually, I guess when I started working with Luca, who produced the record, like, he really had this ethos of the music just being, able to give people a release, able to be just like feel good and not weighing it down. Like, I think if the lyrics sort of felt like you're trying to explain something, trying to like overdo an idea, then it just wasn't seeming to work. So like, just getting out of some things that I would usually reach for and just working in really quite just natural and direct and instantaneous way, I guess is the way to describe it. Like, just being able to kind of bounce off of the moment and pick an idea out of thin air, and if it sort of feels good, just go with that. And then, the sort of meaning sort of develops over time. But I think the ideas where you don't kind of force yourself to over-explain it or something actually can feel the most profound in the context of a song, because it's, the combination of the sound and the lyrics, and sometimes, less is more with these things.
And I guess you can really hear that in songs like Elevator Hum, for example, which has this real sort of like wonder, like childlike nature to it. What other artists or songs that you listen to maybe make you feel that way?
I was listening to this album earlier, actually, that kind of, I was like, this is probably somewhat of an influence. So I started listening to Oracular Spectacular, and I guess Time to Pretend opens that album. And I was like, this is like, just got that like childhood wonder, that just like playful lyrics, super like, feels just super open. So like, MGMT is always a bit of an influence for me, but that tune, I was like, I kind of tied to Elevator Hum. I was like, that's probably a bit of an influence there. But lots of tunes. I mean, one of the influences for the Hoedown, for the Elevator Hum has been thrown around as the Hoedown Throwdown.
Yeah, I can see the vision.
The boom de clap, you know, sort of groove going on in there. So that's also, I guess, a really goofy feel-good song.
Are you going to do that dance routine on tour?
Well, I think we open Elevator Hum with the Hoedown Throwdown. I'm starting to get the two confused already. We open Elevator Hum with the boom de clap, and then sort of go into it. I think that's...
I can see
it's an idea. It's just, you know, we haven't planned it yet.
What you got to think about is 10,000 people stood in Alexandra Palace
doing
the Hoedown Throwdown.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah. We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. Said it now. So going back to the record as well, sort of in the past few months, you've talked about how some of these songs maybe wouldn't have made it on the previous records. They would have seemed a bit too sort of like light-hearted compared to previous material. Maybe sort of like a joke in some way because they're so fun and so carefree. What changed for you to have to completely let go and just trust your instincts?
I think just my tastes have sort of relaxed a little bit, like, and also matured a little bit. Like I still like really care about music and put pressure on myself in that way. You know, I really care about the stuff that I make, but like it's a different kind of thing. I've actually found that I can kind of sort of relax a little bit more when I'm making music, and often that just like leads to better results. And yeah, I don't know, like I feel like I just saw my music as something else before, and so when I'd come up with, you know, these slightly more sort of groove-based ideas or you know, little ideas that are kind of more based around the sort of sonics or based around just how it feels, like it would never feel complete. And I think yeah, really this whole process has been just like figuring that out and just learning a new way of finishing music. And it's been quite empowering, I guess. Is the word. It's been quite like it's made me feel just like quite capable of executing different kinds of songs, you know. And I feel like I more and more just see every album project that I'm working on as a, you know, an opportunity to make something that I'm proud of, but also just an opportunity to learn. And like each record that I've done, I've worked on in quite a different way and had, you know, different people to kind of learn from along the way. And so yeah, I feel like it had to be something different this time around. And it was, yeah, a somewhat dramatically different process from what I'd done before, but yeah, really allowed me to kind of execute things I'd learned and also keep sort of absorbing new methods.
Totally. When you talk about learning from other people as well, obviously sort of your world of collaborators has expanded in quite a way. You had Eli Smart helping you out with this record. C-Matt has performed with you at various shows over the past year. What's been like the importance of bringing these people into your world, you know, taking the pressure off yourself a little bit?
I just think it's a beautiful thing, like, and you just, I love not, you know, part of, I guess, what this album was about was not exactly knowing where I was heading with it. Like, I really didn't know how it would end up. There was lots of different avenues I could have taken it down. And, you know, as I say, the process was quite new to me as well. So really working with other people adds to that, and it adds to the excitement of it, where, you know, if you're able to get perspective on it and look back and, you know, assess what's right for the song and what feels the best, then, you know, just being able to collaborate freely and try stuff out with people with new influences in the room is like great. And yeah, as I say, like in the gigs and in the studio, we've had like a whole host of different people coming in and just trying stuff out, whether it's, you know, writing songs together or just throwing down, you know, Eli has thrown like a load of lap steel on the album, the odd guitar solo he's done on the album, and Ali Kelly sings on Elevator Hum and a bunch of other songs on the album. You can sort of really hear her sort of stamp on it. And yeah, it's just allowed things to open up in a really nice way. And the album is still, you know, it's still like really got to a point where me just working on it, even a little bit all over the place, and then got to a greater point when I started working with Luca. You know, we really refined the ideas I had, created a few new ideas. So we had quite a good foundation for people to really jump in on and throw paint at the wall and kind of see what's working, really. It's great. It's a great way to make music because it's just fun, and yeah, you get these beautiful results that you wouldn't have anticipated.
And I guess speaking on CMAT in particular, she's had her breakthrough year this year with her second album, being nominated for BBC Sound of. What's it been like for you two to see each other evolve as musicians? Obviously, you've got that friendship that goes back.
Yeah.
Always sporting her merch.
Yeah, I'm always wearing her socks, apparently.
Not today.
Not today, no. Thankfully, I've been spotted packed in her socks too many times. Yeah, great. Like, I feel like we only met a few years ago, really, two or 3 years ago, maybe? And we kind of started by, like, writing tunes together, and, yeah, I was kind of a fan of her music before I knew her, before she came on tour with us, obviously, on the last record. She's just a really, you know, a really, really unique, creative, you know, person and artist, like, and just has been really inspiring to work with in that way. But also, yeah, great to see her doing so well this year and everything. It's kind of, it's crazy. We obviously wrote one of the tunes on her album together, Vincent Company, which it's quite a hilarious name, but great tune. And yeah, it's been really, really cool. Like, she's, yeah, sort of, there's more tunes that we've worked on together, which I can't really kind of holding back from talking about, because there's you know, there's more moments that I think will eventually see the light of day. But so far, great. Really happy for everything that's happening this year.
Amazing. So let's talk about your campaign for the Christmas #1, your cover of ABBA's Slipping Through My Fingers.
We're sure it's already happened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Obviously it's already happened.
What was sort of the decision behind releasing this? Obviously, it'd been a big deal on social media for a while. It'd really been bubbling up and excitement around it.
Well, I just felt like I had to get it done. No, I actually didn't. I built a new studio, or rather sort of had a like shed cabin kind of done up,
right,
and basically needed some stuff to try out in there. And just one sort of evening, I just thought to have a crack at Slipping Through My Fingers, because people have been asking for it so much, and I hadn't really been able to do it over the tour and stuff like that. It was just like, I couldn't do it any justice, really. I didn't. And you know, if you're going to do something, you might as well execute it in the right way, and like, it already had an original version that people liked, so I didn't want to stray from it too much, but I also, you know, wanted to treat it like something that's going to exist on the internet forever, possibly. Not like I did that the last time, really. But yeah, so I just spent one evening, I did like just a straight acoustic take without thinking about it too much, and then I was just listening back to it and kind of was like, I should add a few more elements to this. So towards the end of the track, there's some nice synths and some drums, and everything on there is like played and produced by me, and so which kind of made sense to kind of maintain the lo-fi kind of
keep it consistent.
Ethos. Yeah, keep it in line with the other thing, but I was kind of like trying to purposefully get things kind of a little bit muddier and a little bit like, yeah, like they could have been recorded on my phone, like on a live stream, as the previous version did. But yeah, and then I did that, and I really liked it, so I was like, let's just release it and get a Christmas #1.
Exactly.
Job done.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did. It also, just the end of it, it's like, right, there you go, we're done with that. I'm not going to play it at the gigs. Merry Christmas. And then move on to the next single.
So how did you feel when it first started taking off on social media and people were comparing the vocal to Paul McCartney? That's a pretty
I felt good about it at
comparison.
first, but now it's like, there's like versions on YouTube that it's like Paul McCartney AI Declan, and I'm like, what? How has this got so
not even
confused?
Your full name?
Like, it's not even there is an AI Paul version. It's not even that version. It's my version that's got nothing to do with Paul McCartney. It's just my version of the ABBA tune, and it's like, it says AI Paul McCartney McDeclan. It's got like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. really weird. But to be honest, I don't take it that personally because it's not it's not something that I've spent a long time working on. It was just on a live stream. I played half an ABBA tune and now it's on TikTok.
Yeah, people
That's
wouldn't
the way
let
the
it go.
world works.
I guess, would it be fair to say, speaking on Paul McCartney, that you can maybe hear some elements of his Ram era in your new album?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, that sort of intimacy and I guess the characters, like he really dived more into his like characters in that one. I felt like there's all different kind of vocal stamps from Paul, and that's what I like about Paul and what is such a big influence for me. It's like, yes, you know, there's perhaps the voice, the sort of voice that he sung all the Beatles stuff in, which is maybe even still has like 4 or 5 variations on it, and then in Ram he just goes even more extreme, you know, with the intimate moments and with the more, you know, goofy sort of. I'm trying to think, you know, Admiral Halsey and all of this stuff, like where he's just doing these weird different voices, and that's a big influence on the record because I kind of have elements of that, and yeah, just the way in which it was recorded as well. You know, I know Ram, a lot of it was just one by one, bit by bit, just building up a sort of weird little soundscape, and that's kind of been the process of this album as well. Yeah, it hasn't been a sort of, you know, Abbey Road Beatles recording session.
A lot more relaxed.
Lot more chill, a lot more zen. And people hated that album when it came out. Well, some people did anyway. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, going back to ABBA, at least, have you been to ABBA Voyage? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is your review?
I thought it was really good. It was weird. Like they had this whole, you know, video sequence of this child in the winter, I guess in you know, Sweden probably, which was like mad. I didn't see that coming, but it was still kind of cool and epic. My favourite thing about it was that they opened the whole show with one of my favourite ABBA songs, which is The Visitors, the title track of their final album, The Visitors. Great album, like darker maybe and more, you know, it's dipping into the 80s, that one, so it's like more synth heavy, somewhat more robotic in places, and really, really cool. And I love that song, and they opened the whole thing with it, and I feel like I would almost thought before, like, imagine, you know, opening a show with The Visitors. It's it's so full of anticipation, and yeah, just awesome tune. And then they go and just after that, they just basically play the hits, and it's really cool. And there's a live band. What's not to love? It's like seeing ABBA.
I mean, if you could choose another artist to be hologrammed and play a live show like that, who would you go for?
Beatles.
Obviously.
Beatles. Can you imagine? It would be sick.
What would you want on the set list?
Anything.
Just take it all.
Like, I'd want them to change up the set list. Like, that was what I really loved about Paul McCartney's headline Glastonbury set. That one I was at, and it was amazing. And you know, he played tunes like For the Benefit of Mr. Kite, which I was just not expecting at all. And it was so cool. Like, never in my life did I think I would hear any good rendition of that song live. And it was sick. And like, that's the kind of stuff that I would love to hear. Obviously, you want to hear some of the hits, but like, you know, to me, all Beatles songs are hits. Like, there's no filler, really. Even like the weirdest Beatles song is probably like 2 minutes long, or probably a bit, but still, like you know, they're just. I never think they overdid anything, so anything would be great. I love the Beatles.
We're just gonna manifest it now.
It'll probably happen. To be honest, I'm guessing it becomes a bit of a trend, but I don't know.
So going back to the album, obviously earlier we talked a lot about the previous albums and how you had to move on and get into a new mindset. What is it like for you now when you go back to play those earlier songs? Are there some that are quite difficult to play? Do you feel like you've really moved on from the person you were when you wrote those?
I mean, Yes and no. I almost feel like touring the second album, I didn't want to play as many songs from the first album, but I was still playing a lot. But over time, like, I just warmed to them in a different way. Like, as you get somewhat more disconnected from that place, it almost becomes, at least for me, it's become a little bit more like just easy to enjoy and embrace them for what they are. Like, rather than feeling like it's a total representation of me, it's just like, I don't know, people want to hear Why Do You Feel So Down at gigs, so I'm going to play it. Like,
Still goes off.
It still goes off. It's great. Like, and I don't know, I see those songs for what they are, rather than being like, oh, I wouldn't make this now. Like, like it's just fun. And I think the songs are more than just fun. I think I do feel proud of them still, but you know, your perspective changes. But yeah, I feel like I've got to a place where I'm a little bit less cynical with it, and the main thing is just, it's going to be really hard to pick a set list, because I obviously want to play all of the new album on tour, or at least as much of it as I can fit, but then it's like going to be really hard to pick another, say, 10, 12, songs, whatever it winds up being. Could wind up being 25, 30 song set list. It's not.
It's supposed to be a 3-hour show at
It's
this
not.
rate.
It will be really not. Like a lot. Like my first 2 albums, every song is 5 minutes at least. It's ridiculous. This new one, they're nice and short,
It's
relatively.
Like, you better believe extended mix.
Yeah. Well, that's staying on the set list. You better believe has to be on there. But then there's a lot that have to be on there, so that's what I'm worried about. But yeah, hopefully we can just keep mixing it up, changing things around, because 3 albums, that's a lot of songs.
That's a lot of songs.
You got to mix it up.
And the ABBA cover, or is that?
And we'll probably just play that on the speakers after the gig or something.
How do you sort of build up to that process of like what songs you're going to choose? Is it like a battle royale situation, or are you quite calm? 'Cause it sounds like you've really thought about this.
No, I haven't really got a set list planned. What tends to happen with the set list is I text our touring WhatsApp group the set list for each show about 45 minutes before we go on stage, and then it all gets printed off, and sort of keyboard tech runs to the laptop and like changes anything around that we have changed. But after a couple shows on the tour, songs become friends and they sit next to each other. You just kind of move around the structure a little bit, or swap one for another here and there. Like, it's a bit much to change it super dramatically. But yeah, I really think it's essential to keep things kind of evolving over the course of a tour, because otherwise I think I just stop playing as well. It's like, it's music, it should be fun, it shouldn't be like, going through the motions. I don't like when it feels like that on tour. So who knows what's going to happen is basically what I'm saying.
And just to wrap things up, when you look back at the process behind making this new album, what makes you feel proud of yourself?
Yeah, just the whole thing. I don't know. I guess just that I've proven to myself I can execute something else, and there's songs on there that just feel like ones I've, the likes of which I've really wanted to write. Wobble, the first track, is just really something that that just feels like one of my favourite songs. Like, that I could have listened to when I was 17 or 20 or 25, as I probably am when this thing comes out, which is mad. But like, yeah, just there's stuff that I'm just, I've really gone for something, and it just fits right now. So that's what I'm proud of, really. Long may it continue, I guess. I just kind of want to carry a little piece of the ethos that I've had into the future, and just be able to use the lessons that you learn in the right places, right? Like, not force anything to be something that it doesn't want to be. And that's kind of perhaps what I've learned in this process. So I feel very proud of that whole thing. It's good.
Totally. Well, thanks so much for speaking with us, and we'll
Cheers.
see you doing the Hoedown Throwdown on tour.
At Alexandra Palace in April sometime or something like that.